Bienvenidos, soy la Bruja Espinada, and I am here with a very special full moon reading. So, let's get started. We are just having entered the Capricorn season. Ooh, here we go. And we're starting quick right off the back. We have Justice, another Two of Wands, Seven of Wands. We have the King of Cups, the Nine of Swords, starting off pretty strong. And we have the Page of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, the King of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the Five of Cups. I will stop here because I am not kidding you when I say that this is just a repeat of the last two readings. Actually, a few readings before this, but I think the last two readings have had a very significant telling. So let's get started. Justice, what is yours is coming to you. Justice will be served. Things are going to karmically adjust themselves the way they need to be adjusted. If this is a testament to karmic justices coming to you, I say you need to make your amends where amends need to be made. If you feel as though you don't need to make amends, so be it. Then be ready to welcome in what is rightfully yours. And I say that term loosely because we aren't without, I hate to use this word, but the term I want to use is we are not without sin, which is like we are, even if you're non-Christian, we're not without any faults. We all make mistakes. We all tend to hurt somebody that we may not have intended to. That's why I say, just be ready. If you live a life of good intention, you have no worries. Okay? But if someone comes up to you and says, hey, this is how I've felt wrong, or this is how, I've been wronged, you can approach the situation in the sense of like, hey, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention. I'm sincerely sorry. And then if they're willing, then you give them like, hey, this is what I meant, or that's not how I meant it, this is how I meant it, and see if that can resolve any resolutions. But be open to hearing. We're followed by the Two of Wands, this or that, a very I'm trying to get a feeling of this because the next one up is the Seven of Wands. And I'm trying to decide whether this had to do with balance or whether this had to do with choice. And this very much has to do with, I think, I'm going to say both. And here's why. You have to make a decision. You've had a lot of twos come into this, and twos are either regarding balance or choice. And in this set, and I only say that because here we have the Two of Pentacles, and literally the next card that was in the bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords. I'm going to come back to the rest of these, but I want to get through these first. It's just a repeat of everything that I said the past few readings. You have to make a choice. You have to find the balance between creativity and how you are seeking to, how to fill your purse, your coin bag, your monies, your resources. Now we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands typically is some type of struggle. And then we have the King of Cups. There's a lot of emotional work that has to come through. And I think that part of this balance / choice category that comes in is because there's a lot of passion for what you want to do. You have a lot of passions. There are a lot of things that you would like to be able to do. There's a lot of things that you wish you could do, and even in regards to working on your finances, working on attaining those resources, there's so many different ideas that you have, and sometimes that sets you back. That sets you back because you're kind of, oh, I don't even, okay, all these roads, but which road do I choose? Now, if you take a look at the Seven of Wands, there's so many different wands. There's so many different things that they can represent. You have to choose one. And I know it's difficult because a lot of what comes into this is, do I prioritize making monies, or do I prioritize my emotional attachment, my emotional wellness, the things that if I don't attend to this, it's just not gonna happen. You have to attain this. You have to attain this. You need to work towards your emotional wellness. This is key. This is key. You have to, I'm going to use this term loosely. You have to master your emotions. And I'm not saying that you have to control them, put your mind over your heart. No, 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 no. You have to learn to sit with your emotions. And once all that healing, all that emotional healing you put through, all the emotional wellness that's going to come from prioritizing your emotions will allow your cup to overflow, and you will be able to emotionally be there for others. Now, this is a really big thing because what it's seeing, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you've been trying to pour from an empty cup for a very long time. This is your indicator that it is time to stop that. You still have the Page of Wands. You are a novice. You are learning. You are trying to choose and decide what wand is the best one. And right now is the perfect time, especially since our message was to go within to figure out how to work on ourselves. We have a lot of wands here. You're passionate about a bunch of things, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing. There's always new ways to learn something. And this is just that reminder, that indicator that, you know, you won't be a page for long, but you're a page for as long as you want to learn different things. So either you choose to dedicate to one before moving to the other, because eventually paths will intersect again, one way or another. So what is your choice? Now we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is an indicator of ceremony, celebration. Typically, this has been tied to the idea of marriage, of happiness, of union. So take into consideration that working with others might be a really big factor right now, especially when you're learning new things, apprenticeships, new jobs, things like that. So take that into consideration. Only good things can come from learning and exploring what your passions are. Then we're followed by the Two of Pentacles, that balance, that concern, that choice of money matters, resources. Again, it doesn't just mean you have to choose, it does mean balance. You are going to be able, here's the saying, there's a market for everything. You can be stuck with the choice of like this or that. This right here is more of a balance. You can figure out how to make monies doing what you love. Granted, you're just figuring this out. You're going to find out who your audience is. You're going to find out who your customers are. You're going to find out what your niche is. It's a learning process. It's a learning process. Just keep that in mind when you're trying to balance out your resources. Then we're followed by the King of Wands. You will reach this level. Don't be worried about, oh, I'll never get there. Look at how far you've come. You've gotten here somehow. Whether it's up or whether it's down, somehow you got here. Things happen, things move. Either they happen gradually or they happen in a rush. Depends on whether you're going up or down. But you're going to reach the level of the King of Wands, which is a good thing. Passion, understanding that being at a level of sovereignty is not an easy task. There's a lot that goes into being a sovereign, being someone at the top that protects others, that manages everything, that has a wider scope of responsibility. So that's one of the things to take into consideration. You're trying to reach this level, but this level isn't without responsibilities. And then we come with the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is just that reminder that difficulties do happen. You might have been going through a difficult time for a while, but remember, we just entered the winter season. This is a time of reflection. This is a time of letting go. This is a time of things coming to an end. When you're at the 9, you're not yet at the 10, so you haven't reached that final letting go, the final end of the cycle. It's when you reach 10, have you truly reached that level? Speaking of 10, we have the 10 of Pentacles. You are attaining this level of abundance. It's coming to you. It's right at your door. A new year, a new leaf is being turned. The 10 of Pentacles is that reminder to don't forget, you're almost there, achieving all these resources. And I say resources because I don't want you to have the ideas like, oh, this money's coming to me. Chances are it could be, but it could be other things. It could be job opportunities and you still have to work for your monies. It could be business opportunities. You still have to put, resources can be so many different things, whether it's finance, whether it's friends, whether it's love, whether it's family, information that leads you closer to the things that you're working towards. A lot of resources, materials are coming to you. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, leveling up in the money world. You're one step up from a page, which is great. So remember, as I said before, it's not just about learning things to gain money, but also the resources needed on how to better manage your money, how to manage spending, to make sure that you're putting out so that you can continue putting in. That's a very important thing to learn. And a very, very important thing when it comes to money balance. It's not just about hoarding. Remember, if you watched the winter solstice reading of the Four of Coins that had come out, that's about hoarding. Hoarding isn't going to build your money up. If you put out, you will give in. It is a cycle that continues. If you plant, you will receive in growth. That means you have to give up some seeds in order for things to grow and create new seeds. Keep that in mind. These are things you have to learn as you're leveling up. And then we have the Five of Cups, crying over spilt milk. And also, pouring from an empty cup. Remember that. These two things. Don't stick around crying about the past. You have to move forward. The past is painful, but as you move forward, you have to remember there's other opportunities for you, other things for you out there. You just can't keep crying over spilt milk. But this is also a reminder that you can't keep pouring from an empty cup. You have to receive in order to give. So giving yourself that emotional wellness, giving yourself your physical wellness, giving yourself knowledge and things like that, the more you gain to rest, to recuperate, to improve, then you can pass that along. Then remember, we have the Two of Swords. This one is very important because we have the Empress, and we have the Hermit. We have the Queen of Swords. And then we come back with the Nine of Wands. So I'm going to stop here. Well, actually, I'm going to pull this one too. We have the Three of Swords. These are all very tied together, and it's tied with the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is an indicator of being very mindful of what you say and how you say it. Now, you're coming to a point where you're learning how to communicate in the sense of maybe you've held back a lot of what you've had to say in the past, and this is also highlighted when we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is a no bullshit queen. We also have the King of Swords. There's now we have more. We are on a roll. So here we have the Two of Swords. You're learning what to say, when to say it. It's important to say what you need to say versus what you want to say. You might want to call someone out on their shit, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, you have to take into consideration timing. Is this the right time? Can this mess up any opportunities? You have to be mindful of the things you say and the way that you say it. Now that things are more readily accessible thanks to the internet, you have to be mindful that some people deserve to get their asses handed to them. And I'm not one to say be the bigger person. I'm just saying do what's going to be best for you in the end. Is handing them their ass gonna feel good? Oh, yeah, it is. Could it come with consequences? Oh, yes, it can. You have to understand that every single action has a consequence. Will that person that's gonna get their ass handed to them get it handed to them in the end? Of course. That's why people refer to karma. Are you karma? You're not. But you have to understand that every action, if you hand them their ass, you don't know who's listening, you don't know who's watching. You may say, fuck it, I don't care, but then that may shift the trajectory of whether you're moving up or you start to move down. You are not karma. You are not karma. Karma does its own thing, just like how people love to speak on the behalf of whatever higher power they have. They are not that higher power. You're not karma. Be wise with your words, timing, the way that you say things. You're learning this. So be mindful. Choose your words wisely. That's all I'm going to say. Sovereigns, the king and the queen are the king and queen of no bullshit. They're the sovereign of no bullshit. But they know what to say and when to say it. And you're going to be reaching this level. This is a learning experience. You will learn, and you got to be mindful of what you say. If you are mindful, you will reach a level of the Empress. The Empress is higher than a king or a queen. And look at that look on their face. A lot of responsibility, but it comes with a lot of knowledge. If you are mindful of what it is that you say, as you move forward, ascertaining all these amazing things, you will reach the level of the Empress. You first need to go within. Take the time as a hermit. Sometimes it sucks to be alone, but you know what? Right now, you really, really need to go within. You need to go within. You need to assess all the struggles. You need to assess everything that you've been through. You need to assess what it is that you want to do, what it is that will lead you to need to do. There's a lot to process right now, and that's perfectly okay. And it doesn't come without some hardship. It doesn't come without some pain. Sometimes when we have to assess the past, it is painful. Sometimes when we realize how much there needs to be done, it causes some pain because we wish it was easy. We wish it was easy, but guess what? We're followed by the Fool. You're not a fool, but you know what? The Fool is a learning experience. The Fool is a learning experience. It's starting from zero, because the Fool is zero. You're starting all over. It's a brand new cycle. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you haven't, that doesn't mean everything has been erased. Nothing's been erased, obviously. Nothing has been erased. You're here now. You have a past. There's no absolute zero. It's just starting from the ground up. It's starting all over again. It's starting a new cycle. Again, like a plant, you have wheat that grows, and then you're like taking care of it, you give it your all, and then you have to reap it so that you can process it, and you get the seeds, and then you start all over again to have more abundance and growth and knowledge of how to improve. And it's not with just one, then it multiplies. You get more of an abundance. That's the process. And we have the world. You see all the stars? Stars represent hope. And it's the world. The world is yours. This is your world. This is all about the betterment of you, the betterment of your world. None of this is anything bad. Bad things are in there, sprinkled through, just like, because that's how it is with anybody. You can't understand and appreciate the goodness, which is why the Fool is here, which is why the Hermit is here. These are things that you have to really consider, especially when it comes to the Empress. The Empress understands this. All the sovereigns that pop in here understand that. You can't have good without bad, and it is a learning experience of how do we come back from a mistake? How do we come back from a hiccup, an obstacle? How do we overcome it? It's a learning experience. And yeah, sometimes it's more learning experiences than we would like. But I mean, this also comes to play in your emotional wellness. When it becomes overwhelming, how do you deal with it? If things happen to you and it seems like the same situation over and over, that's because you haven't learned from it. You haven't learned from it. There's something you have to learn if it's a cycle that repeats itself. A cycle will continue to repeat itself until you learn the lesson. You can't pass a test if you don't study for it. If you keep taking a chance, like eventually I'll get it, and say, okay, yeah, I finally got it. You move on to the next test and you take the same, and it's going to keep happening. Well, no wonder the issue is prolonged. You're not taking the time to learn the lesson. Whew, I don't know who needed to hear that, but it came out and it had to be said. So at this point, we're just repeating everything again. We're just going to move on to the lesson of the fates. Mighty Fates, what lesson do you have for our watchers today? I don't know who needed to hear that, but it needed to be said. We have the Magi. We have the Magi, and we have Surrender. Both have eyes, so it's important to watch this. Let's see what they have to say. It is 98. The Magi. The Magi indicates a period where you need to look deeper. Well. It asks you to examine what you think you know and then keep going. Throughout our lives, we build an infrastructure of beliefs that allows us to navigate life. But so often this system is built on top of a shaky foundation. Remember the Tower card. Or out of weak materials. In other words, it is time to question that which you've never noticed. What beliefs inform your decisions, passions, and ambitions. The Magi is a seer of illusion, and in turn, they are able to cut through the fog and get to work. The Magi may see the world similar to a mirrored funhouse. They see the core of each experience and are able to acknowledge how many different realities exist in a single moment. Being able to see these many realities is a gift. It teaches us to be less attached to a single road, but instead see where all the roads meet. If we are courageous enough to see and be open to our life unfolding along any various roads, we invite in a magic that few get to experience. Even a balanced magi can frustrate people. They have some trickster energy in that they can see the bigger picture and may know the answer, but when they present the information to you in a way that may spin your head, they are gifted with words and everything they say can have multiple meanings. When magi is unbalanced, they can be very manipulative and self-seeking. They may talk down to others as they believe themselves to be greater and more knowledgeable, rather than present the information meant to challenge others, in the expectation that it will ultimately be empowering. The unbalanced magi will present information in a way that is meant to make others feel small. In fact, they may enjoy the fact that others don't understand. So remember, that's one thing to learn. So we have that with the Fool, we have that with the Page of Wands, and we have that with the Knight of Pentacles. When it comes to learning and sharing knowledge, just be very mindful of those that try to share knowledge with you and who is sharing that knowledge with you. 70. So we move on with surrender. We often hear the word surrender being thrown around intentional communities, and rightfully so. This is one of the primary lessons we are on earth to learn. It is also one of the most challenging. To surrender is to have our human nature take a back seat. This is not easy, and we can find ourselves saying, I know how I should do this. But we struggle when it comes to actually embodying it and putting it into practice. When we are working with larger concepts, it is important to break it down. Rather than embracing surrender like a mantra, enter into a dialogue with it. What does it mean? What does it look like? If you were to surrender, how would you feel? How would you go move through life? How would your heart, soul, mind, and body feel? With the situation at hand, how would you engage differently? What are the small things you can do daily that hold a container for surrender? Consider journaling around these questions and sit with this card, with what this card means for you and how you can integrate it. I don't make this shit up, guys. It comes as it comes. I'm just here to share it with you. So these are very, very eye-opening messages and lessons from the fates. Just reiterating what I said. I don't make this shit up. Animal spirit guides, what messages do you have for our watchers today? Oh, there's a lot that wants to come out. We have very little time to share. If you can, wait, no. One card, please, if possible. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Wolf spirit. Okay, they were very active today. Keep an eye out for what animals you come across. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Wolf spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning to you to follow, asking you to take all that you've learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, don't leave them unexamined. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony, that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. With the appearance of wolf spirit, it is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. What is unknown is still yet to be discovered. When wolf spirit appears, you are being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. You won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning or you don't have to know something. Be open, be humble, be teachable. The world will open itself up for you like magic. Now is the time to look into the world with reverence and awe and an insatiable curiosity. You will never grow old if you're willing to keep learning. Wolf Spirit is waiting to be your mystical, loving guide. Well, hot damn. If that isn't the message of this full moon. This is the last full moon of the year, the Gregorian calendar year, and I sincerely hope this message helped you guys. I hope you learned so many new beautiful things. I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys next time.